what has kept you from not being consistent? Like, why did you stop doing all the basics that we were teaching you? And it really all came down to stress, emotional eating. A lot of them just don't know how to handle emotions.
Totally.
Is like, okay, well, let's work on helping you guys with these behaviors and, coping mechanism skills that you need to build rather than just going to food every time.
Yes, thank you, because everybody wants to just start running, but it's like, hold,
Right.
let's slow the fuck down.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
All right, Nerdle, what up?
What's up, Nerdle? You got your shit together?
I do. Got all my shit together. Got my cold brew. Cheers.
Same. Cheers. That's so funny.
I know. When you tagged me in that Instagram story, I was sitting on the shitter first and foremost.
Amazing.
A nice healthy post run poop. I saw the Instagram notification pop up. I was like, she really just got a fucking cold brew. As I'm like,
I did.
Yeah. So
as you're drinking yours. I'm taking a shit.
Oh yeah, definitely was not drinking it while taking a crap. Come on now.
We haven't had a solo podcast in a while.
We have not. I think
we have a lot to catch up on, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a goodie. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. All right. So what is new, Matt?
Boy, let's see. Really fucking loving running right now.
Yeah.
Anybody that's been paying attention to any of my platforms can probably realize, which is going really well. Just literally about 15, 20 minutes ago, finished up with my run.
I love that because, okay, so remember when I was like, I can guarantee, Matt, you'd love running. I remember telling you that. I'm like, you need to run, Matt, because you have that personality. It's the ADD. Like, it's a good focus for you not to focus.
It really
you know
is.
what I'm saying? So, and the fact that you're loving it right now, I'm like, yeah, of course you do. I mean, it's fucking amazing. Yeah.
For sure. And I know I wanted to talk about running here today. I don't know if we want to jump right into that or get back to it, but I've had experience with running, but it's just now that I'm really starting to fall in love with it. And it's because my relationship with it has really changed and for the reasons why I'm doing it. And that's really what's important here.
Also, I think a lot of people go out too fast and they're like, this fucking sucks. It's like, of course it is. Right? You're not supposed to start out. Oh yeah, of course I did, because I started running with people that were like Boston Marathon qualifiers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think I've even talked about this. This was a part of my running, which was like, I was either going to just stop altogether because I was getting so frustrated myself that I was not where these people were supposed to be. I had to come to terms with like, Beth, it's okay. You're not supposed to be there, right? You're not supposed to run a fucking 7-minute mile. You're 11, 12-minute miles for you right now is amazing as a beginner. So
yeah, I love that you said that, because that's something that I know a lot of people are getting into running right now. I know a couple of people messaged me like, hey, thanks, I'm getting into running advice. And or like, I'm really hurting right now and it really sucks, but I want to keep going. I'm like, well, if it's hurting right now, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And I made that mistake when the first time I ever started running was when I first started trying to lose weight, like 10, 15 years ago now at this point, when my son was born, he's 14. And I started by running, and I did what everybody probably does when they start running to lose fat. They just start running really as far as they can and as fast.
And fast.
And like, man, it fucking sucks. And you do it for like a week, and then you do it every day too.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Yeah, you got to do it the right. I always suggest, if you've never started running, to start the Couch to 5K.
I love the Couch to 5K.
It's free. Yeah, we did that, and I swear every time I take a little break from running, I start that, and I get right back into it, because it really helps. The walk run. You go at your own pace. You have to build up to being fast. You don't just start out being fucking fast.
Right. I like how you say you go at your own pace, because like the Couch to 5K program, it doesn't tell you how fast to run. And that's the same way we do like our coaching programming is we're not going to tell you how much to lift because it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But they give you guidelines of, okay, you're going to walk for 5 minutes and then you're going to lightly jog for 5 minutes. And then we describe what a light jog is to you. And like when you're first starting running, and even if you're the most experienced advanced runners, they run really, really fucking slow. Most of the time, like 80% of the time, you should be able to maintain like talking with somebody that you're running with. If you can't, you're running too fast. Slow the fuck down, and it's hard to slow down. It's to prevent injury. It'll build your endurance, strength, fucking stamina, everything. So that's the best way to go.
Yep.
So yeah, running is going really well. And really just loving the whole like cross training, I guess, aspect of where I'm at right now with weight training and hiking and everything there too. So I'm doing 3 days of running now and 3 days of lifting, and some days I'm doing both. So it's a lot of fun, really cool.
Yeah, love it.
I learned so much about programming, like with running, because I'm doing my own programming for running, even though I'm thinking about getting a coach at some point once I start like getting a little bit more serious, I think.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just learning a lot and implementing different types of runs and experimenting and seeing how my body responds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of fun. I think I just had a brain fart.
You did. You like looking around, and I'm like, you're right there. You just fucking.
You're like, okay, here comes the squirrel. Here's
the pause.
But yeah, with me training for Mount Kilimanjaro, it's really fun.
You got to have all that different training
and everything there too.
Doing all different things because you're going to be in the fucking thick of it.
And my workouts are looking so different these days too.
Yeah.
I'm not doing like, because for a while there I was doing like powerlifting and really enjoying powerlifting, but completely different style of training. Now I'm just training to be strong and to be healthy, to have a good, strong body.
Yeah. Coach Kelly has been programming for me, and it's fun because it's stuff that I'm not used to doing. And I'm so fucking sore today. I can barely walk.
Are you?
She's like, this is deload week. And she has me doing these actual, quick workouts, but they're strengths. And the rest is like 30 seconds. They're supersets where you're doing 6 sets from one to the next with barely any fucking rest. So we did leg extension. So you had to go as heavy as you can, whatever you can do for 12 to 15 reps, and then rest 10 seconds and then do it again. So I kept having to move the weight down, and it was getting fucking heavier.
Drop sets too,
yeah. And I'm like, that's what got me. I'm like, holy shit, dude. My fucking
and that makes sense why you're sore then too. And that's for a recovery week or a deload week. That actually makes sense because you're getting more blood pumping doing that, right? And that's going to promote recovery.
Yeah, so good times.
Awesome.
It's fun though. I love it. I love hiring new coaches and experiencing different ways of training.
For sure. And I think that's really a testament to you as a coach and to us as coaches, because we're always looking to hire somebody to help us. And we know that we don't know it all. And we know that there's different ways of doing things out there. And that's the best way for us to continue to learn and grow is to hire other coaches with different ways of thinking. Instead of doing it just bodybuilding style workouts or whatever it is for your life, right?
Yeah. And she's a coach on my team. So it's cool to see what coaches on my team, how they program. I fucking love it.
Yeah. I hired Coach John on my team last year for like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
After I like last summer, I think. Admittedly, I didn't continue following his program. I was a terrible client. That's when shit really started getting heavy for me. So I kind of started dropping off at the gym at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the month or two I did of his programming, lots of fun. And I always hear good things about his programming from our clients. So
yeah, nice.
I love it. I've learned a lot from him too.
Right. There's especially so much to know.
I would say, especially for anybody that's been following our Patreon workouts this year, especially, they may have noticed that we are doing less sets throughout the entirety of our workout, but they're more intense sets now, right? So we're doing a lot of 2 sets of like 10 to 15 and 6 to 10s. And also I learned picked some of that up because when we were doing some of Dusty's workouts that he had doing, he liked to do those 2 sets and stuff too. So less is more, less is better, in my opinion, right? Not always, but it can be. So. And
this is where it's like, it's what you do, right? It's like you can have the best programming in the world and it's the intention you put in it when you're at the gym. You don't just walk through these and just go through the motions. You got to put the fucking work in and do them right. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And there's a really good, I don't know who made this analogy, or there's a quote out there, I'm going to butcher it, but it was comparing bodybuilders, like old bodybuilders, like people that have been lifting for 50, 60 years, compared to a lot of the newer bodybuilders. And they say, give a bodybuilder, an old guy, a 15-pound dumbbell and watch him get one hell of a workout, and even more so than a bodybuilder of today's that's throwing around heavy weights and doing it all ego, right? Because it's all about the intention and intensity and the control that you're using.
Muscle mind connection is a big thing.
It really is. So if you can master that and slowing down and being intentional with these movements, you don't need to do 4, 5, 6 sets. And I've got to say, Beth, we launched our new program this week, Fit, Fat, Strong. And I've been talking with a lot of people in messaging, and people have been sending me some of the workouts that their coaches are having them do. I can't believe it. They're doing 30 or 40 sets per workout.
What?
Like one person was doing 6 sets of barbell bench press. I'm like, why are you doing 6 sets of barbell bench press, 5 sets of something? Like, it was insane. Like, these coaches are just throwing volume after volume after volume, and then they think they're getting a workout because they're fucking beat up and sore afterwards. And that's not the way to go about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's not good coaching. Anybody can put you through a workout and make you feel it afterwards. Right? Let's go do burpees. And
I was going to say, just because you're doing burpees doesn't mean you're getting a good fucking workout.
And that really just grinds my fucking gears. Seeing somebody doing 30 or 40 sets in a fucking workout. And then the same person is probably going to say, oh, I burn out. I hate working out. Well, of course you hate working out.
Or I hurt myself.
Or I hurt myself. Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, because your workout programming was shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're hiring an experienced coach that uses science and progressive overload. If anybody listening is thinking about hiring a coach, ask them about progressive overload. How do they implement progressive overload in their programming? What is their programming like? Are you doing 10 movements? If you're doing 10 movements and doing 30 or 40 sets, red flag. You can get a fucking awesome workout 4, 5, 6 movements with intention. I think that Beth, we work out together all the time. I don't think you do much more than 6 movements, or at least not 6 like supersets all together and things like that.
No, fuck no.
6 blocks. I guess I should say like 6 blocks of movement.
Yeah. It's usually, I'd say sometimes it could be like 8 movements.
Yeah. 6 isn't a hard stop, right?
It depends.
Yes, thank you. It depends. But most of the time it's not like that.
No.
So more running here. Have you officially started
training? I have.
Yeah.
I just don't talk about it because I got so much. I have really been trying to take a lot less time from social media and being on these apps as much. And I don't know if I've been reposting a lot of stuff. I really am in this space of, I need to be more present.
I'm happy for you, Beth. I've noticed.
Have you noticed?
Your posting has been a little bit less frequent. Like, you're not updating throughout the day as much in terms of stories, and I love that. I mean, it's not to say like we shouldn't be up. Like, we love doing that, but also the personal space and stress and downtime.
And it's I've been spending a lot more time outside, being present with like my family and gardening and shit and taking care of our backyard. We're going to get our deck done. So it's summer in Maine. I don't want to be tied to my phone on the weekends. So I'm really, I want to be in the fucking woods, or I want to be swimming or at the beach right now. So I'm going to really try to make the summer more relaxed than it usually is. Cause it's so quick. It is so quick. And I don't want to be in my house, like making fucking videos all day.
Yeah,
I still got to work, but I'm going to make sure that my work
and you always do really well with like the documenting, not creating too, and because that's pretty much what I'm doing, right? With documenting and not really creating. I create a little bit, but most of it just documenting. Like, hey, here's what I ate, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm struggling with, here's how I'm fucking figuring it out.
Yeah, that's what I've been really doing in my stories. We could talk about my cholesterol, because I think this is a big.
Please.
I've been dealing with this high cholesterol when I got my blood work in December.
Yep.
Of course, that was after Thanksgiving and fucking everything, right?
You're in maintenance and traveling a lot.
I was in maintenance for that whole entire year.
Not justifying and making excuses, just giving context for the situation here.
I wasn't really focusing, let's say, on fiber and all, which is very important for cholesterol.
It's easy to let it slip by.
It's like we're human. So my doctor's like, I'll give you like 3 to 4 months. Let's see what you can do to get it down before we think about any statins or whatever. So I just started eating oatmeal, focusing on more like literally getting 35 to 40 grams of fiber, like making sure I'm getting.
You mean Ozempic?
Yeah, Ozempic. That's been helping me lower my cholesterol, right? Flax seeds and walnuts. I've been taking omega-3 fatty acids. I've been really limiting my deep fried foods and like cookies and pastries and things like that. Not because they're bad, just because I'm in menopause, because of my genetics, I'm more prone to my cholesterol skyrocketing.
But also, you said limit. You didn't say you eliminated. Right?
No, I did not eliminate, but I definitely during maintenance and a surplus, I ate my fair share of that stuff because it's not bad. It's just you need to be more aware of your health and how certain things affect your health. And for me, I need to be more mindful of that. I'm getting older, and right now it's more about health for me than any other health and strength than anything else. So, and the fact that I know I was in control of it, my doctor was like, I'm going to give this to you. You can take care of this. And if not, so I made the choice. I don't want to be put on a statin if I don't have to be. I mean, obviously some people need to be, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I have control over it.
But if you can change it, why wouldn't
if my doctor's like, you can control this, and if you can, well, that's amazing. So I did. I took control of my fucking health, and I lowered my cholesterol 30 to 40 points, which is fucking insane. Yeah. And just actually less than 5 months.
Yeah.
It was end of December, and I got my blood work like May 30th or some shit.
Got it. That's incredible. And
I'm proud of myself because holy shit.
Proud of you. And especially because your stress is so high with everything, and you're managing, you're working on.
And she also said to manage my stress, Matt. So I also told her I've been trying to limit my social media because stress actually also contributes to higher cholesterol. So that was one of the other things she said I need to focus on, managing my stress. And I'm like, you're right. So that's been a focus for me. It hasn't been easy, but I've been doing it. And I think the food was easier for me than the actual stress management part first for me.
Yeah. Well, you run a couple of businesses here with Crap and Beth Ferracco. So I get it. And you've got a growing team and expanding business. So very stressful indeed. Plus you've got your parenting duties, your mother and your significant other and Mike and everything, of course. So you're full on living your life.
Yeah.
I love to like you getting that kind of that wake up call or that like reality check 6 months ago, right? It's like that was just what lab work does is it's just showing you a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
It's not a death sentence. It's not a like, oh, you're fucked. Might as well not even do anything. And I've got bad, low, high cholesterol. I've got high blood pressure, but nothing I can do. I'm fucked, right? No, it's just a snapshot in time. That's all it is. And then the next snapshot in time that you take 6 months from now, a year from now, can be different if you take action.
Yeah. If I start like, oh yeah, my cholesterol's great. Let me just fuck it now. I have my blood work done.
Now you got to maintain it, right? And I know that's something you wanted to talk about here today was maintenance.
Oh yeah, maintaining. So I've been getting this question a lot actually, which is pretty awesome because I love the fact that people are actually thinking about maintenance. I took a maintenance week when I went away to Virginia. Kelly's like, let's just do maintenance for when you're traveling. And I think this is where people overthink because they think they have to be in a calorie deficit all the time. You don't.
They don't.
Like you're in control. If you know you're traveling and you want to reduce the friction, go into maintenance.
Plan diet break is okay.
It's like whose timeline are you on anyway? Like you're giving yourself these timelines. Like, oh my God, I can't go into maintenance. There's no way. I need to lose this amount of time or this amount of weight before this amount of time. It's like, no, you don't. No, you fucking don't.
Right. And this is part of that thing that we call lifestyle change, right? It's unrealistic for you to expect to be in a calorie deficit 365 days a year, especially if you're somebody that travels, has a busy life. You're going to have these seasons of life. We talk about seasons of life all the time. Some seasons of life, it's going to be more appropriate and easier for you to stick with a calorie deficit. Maybe that's 3 months at a time, and maybe you take a month or two into maintenance. That's okay. Why are you fucking rushing?
Right.
You can do it that way, or you can try to be in a calorie deficit for 12 months, 365 days a year, and really fucking struggle because you can't be consistent because everything's too hard. And then you're just going to make slower progress or none at all. Whereas if you were just give yourself some fucking planned time to not be in a fat loss phase, you can adhere to it a little bit.
And it's maintenance is where you ultimately want to be. You want to live. So it's important to practice it.
You should be practicing maintenance.
Maintenance is just adding more calories to your deficit number. It really, and it's not even that much when you come down to it. If you were in a moderate calorie deficit, let's say 200 to 300 calories, 200 to 300 calories under your maintenance, that's going to be a handful of nuts added to a meal, a fucking, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just like when I was in maintenance, surplus, whatever, I wasn't thinking about what I was adding to my meals. I wasn't, let's say, it was like a mindless maintenance.
Yeah. It was,
even though I was still mindful.
It wasn't really like an intentional maintenance, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I was just living my life, working out, getting my steps in, and I was always making sure I got enough protein. But I need to be more mindful, admittedly, just for health reasons.
For sure. I love this. I love this.
Right. And I think a lot of people equate exercise with weight loss, right? And it's like, no, exercise is part of your maintenance plan as well. You don't stop it.
Yes, because we're exercising for health. We don't exercise to lose fat and lose weight, because that's a very nearsighted thing to do.
Yeah.
We exercise for long-term health. So it's meaning we do this for the rest of our fucking lives. And that's really what weight loss needs to be done, with the intention of this is a forever thing, meaning I'm not losing weight forever, but I want to lose weight and I want to keep it off. So what the fuck do I have to do to make sure that happens? Is the approach that I'm taking sustainable, right?
Yeah.
Is the exercise that I'm doing sustainable? Or am I going to the gym 6 days a week, hour and a half doing circuit training, burning out, right? Not sustainable for most people. Or is 3 days a week more sustainable? 30 to 60 minutes of strength training and maybe a 20-minute walk every day. Pretty fucking sustainable for most people.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you're losing weight, you need to be thinking long-term, not 6 months from now, not 1 year from now. Think 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a forever thing. Weight loss is a forever thing in that regard. You're going to be trying to lose weight forever. You guys have already been trying to lose weight forever. Knock that shit off. Start thinking about what it takes to lose weight long-term and maintain it long-term. Y'all know how to lose weight. Everybody listening knows how to lose weight.
Yeah.
By just slashing calories and going on a 30-day kill yourself in the gym, P90X or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Hard 75, whatever the fucking fads are these days, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, they get off the diet. They haven't learned any stress management skills. They still emotionally eat. They're blaming everything on cortisol. Meanwhile, it's your habits. You've never mastered those fucking habits, because if you did, you wouldn't be continuing this back and forth, back and forth.
And you master the habits by giving it time. How much time, Beth? As much fucking time as it takes.
As much time as it fucking takes. I can't stand when someone's like, how much fat should I be able to lose a week? It's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, don't give yourself any numbers. Just, you're focused on the outcome results rather than the fucking action, right? We have full control over taking action. We do not have full control over what results we're going to receive. Correct. So keep taking that fucking action.
Right. I control and I've been using this analogy a lot lately, especially with my running, but I can only control my running, how fast I'm running, how long I'm running, my recovery, my nutrition. I can't control like the guy that's in a larger body than me, older than me, with one arm being faster than me. Because he earned that, right? And this, I'm not even making that up. That happened last week. So, right. So if I were to compare myself to that, or be like, oh my God, I'm nowhere, like this guy is so much faster than me and he's only got one arm, be like, what the fuck? Like, who cares? Like I can control what I control to get there, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
And stop comparing and doing it for myself, and don't compare myself or yourself to other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to this is along the same lines of the maintenance talk and knowing what to do. I went to a graduation party for my cousin's daughter over the summer or weekend, and one of my former clients was there, somebody that I know personally as well, and she lost about 100 pounds with me.
Wow,
and
nice.
She's gained about, I think she said like 25 or 30 of it back over the course of like a couple of years. But here's the kicker. She's like, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm living my life. I'm enjoying my life. She travels a lot, and she's like, you know what? I know what I need to do if I want to lose that weight again. She's like, I'm happy with where I'm at right now. But she's like, I know what I need to do to get it back. So that's also part of like the maintenance piece, and what you were describing there as well with yourself when you were in that quote unquote maintenance, but that wasn't really a maintenance, right? It was not the intention behind it. You know what to do to reel it in when you need to.
Yeah. And that's why I went into a calorie deficit. Honestly, because I got to a place that I wasn't comfortable with, and my blood work kind of reflected that. I mean, It really did. Now that I have a lot less body fat, my blood work is reflecting the way I'm eating currently. So it's a correlation,
Right.
and it's about taking control.
Yeah, that's one of those things too, is you mentioned less body fat, because that's also true. Usually when you lose body fat, a lot of the times your health markers such as cholesterol and blood pressure do improve. That's just that's just a fact, right? It's not all the time, but most of the time that's true. So
yeah. And for me, it was not like I was like overweight or anything. It's just for me, it was in a place that I was uncomfortable with. And,
question for you.
I'm a smaller person. Yeah.
Hypothetical. Get a little thought experiment here. Had you done the blood work 6 months ago and everything was fine, would you have gone into a calorie deficit? As a parent, our days are filled with joy, challenges, and countless memories of connection. And let's be real here, more often than not, chaos can feel downright unavoidable. And in those moments, maintaining our peace and well-being are absolutely crucial. And you should know by now that I love talking about all things mindfulness. So this message is for all you mindful parents out there seeking a natural path to tranquility and presence. Cured Nutrition understands the unique stressors we face every day. Whether it's waking up early to take the kids to school or playing taxi as you shuttle everyone from practice to practice, let's not forget that you still have your daily responsibilities with your own career. That's why they created their Serenity Gummies, your go-to ally in managing the complexities of parenthood with ease. These gummies aren't just a treat. They're a blend of science-backed, health-supporting ingredients like full-spectrum cannabinoids, ashwagandha, reishi mushroom, and L-theanine. Each ingredient is chosen for its ability to support your physical, mental, and emotional sense of calm. Now imagine unwinding from the day's hustle with a natural alternative to alcohol, helping you to improve your presence, mindfulness, and overall well-being. Now oftentimes we turn to alcohol as a way to alleviate stress, but take it from someone that has a long look at his relationship with alcohol. That really only makes things worse. The Serenity Gummies offer a more holistic tool to have in your arsenal so that you can feel good about feeling good. I personally enjoy the passion fruit flavor. It's sweet with some kind of an earthy undertone. I'm no expert when it comes to tasting things. I just know what works for me, what tastes good. In addition to that, each gummy is precisely dosed to guide me to my happy place. Now, Cured Nutrition is offering an exclusive 20% off discount just for our listeners when you purchase Serenity Gummies. Visit www.curednutrition.com/CTC and use coupon code CTC at checkout. That's CURED nutrition.com/CTC, coupon code CTC to embrace a state of relaxation and balance. Remember, protecting your peace is just one gummy away. Now take a moment for yourself and find serenity in the midst of life's whirlwind moments. Because you, as a parent, deserve to support your well-being and do something for yourself so you can continue serving others like the badass that you are. Protect your peace and pop a gummy.
Probably because I was still uncomfortable with myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I felt, I just,
this is totally okay,
felt
right?
like, yeah. And I explained that. Like, no,
totally.
I'm just, my clothes are getting tight, and it's not like or the thing where I'm like, you should buy the clothes that fit you or whatever.
Right. And it's not like, I just want to get like jacked and shredded for like a
we're talking about
or something, right?
Yeah,
like I just want to move around a little bit more comfortably and feel better in my skin.
Yeah, like clothes that I've had for a few years. Okay, I don't need to buy bigger clothes. It's like, no, I don't want to fucking rehaul my whole entire closet.
Yeah.
So let's get back to where Beth is comfortable with herself, and that's all that matters to me, really.
I guess I totally understand that. And
also, since I was training with a lot of intention, I'm like, okay, so I must have built some significant muscle.
Yeah.
Let's fucking reveal this shit, because I've been working really hard and focusing on hypertrophy training. So that's what I'm excited about as well. I've never really
revealed that muscle that you've been building
in a phase where I was like focusing on the muscle building and not the dieting part.
Yeah, totally. Because especially right now, the stage in your life and your training, you have to do one or the other. It's really hard for you to do both, right? Like it's really hard for you to be in a calorie deficit and build muscle because you're so advanced.
Oh yeah, I'm advanced. There's no way. Yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing is like, if you guys are wanting to build muscle, that's the other question we get a lot too is, can I build muscle in a calorie deficit? It's like, well, technically, can you? Yeah, especially if you're a beginner, but why would you want to do that? Like you're not going to do either of those things really well.
It's not optimal.
It's not. Yeah. And I hate that fucking word, but it's true in this situation, right?
Yeah.
It really is true.
Yep.
And what I was going to say too is I can attest to being comfortable, right? Obviously, I've lost some weight. I've talked about my own kind of recent weight loss, having been about 25 pounds down now at this point. I'm wearing clothes that I haven't worn in a couple of years, and it feels nice. It feels fucking good.
Right.
I mean, I feel happier in the clothes that I'm wearing. I'm like, oh, I felt like I forget what it felt like for clothes to fit me in this way, right?
Yes.
So that's cool. And then of course I've gained a few pounds, 5 to 10 pounds these last couple of weeks, and I made a video about this or a post or something. But I started taking creatine again because I hadn't been taking creatine, so that was probably also part of the initial weight loss. Because I stopped taking creatine back in the fall time when I was really struggling. And I just recently started taking it again. So fall is when I started losing weight, and then now
because it's water.
Now that I'm loaded back up with creatine, because exactly, I'm loaded back up with water, and my muscles, I already know I can see a visible difference. I feel a visible difference. My workouts are already better. In just the 2 weeks I've been taking it, it's not fat. In fact, I look leaner than I did 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
So I look leaner, but my scale weight has gone up. It's incredible. So
I want a fun fact about creatine. I don't know if it's a fun fact, but so with all my recent blood work, I haven't really talked about this in my stories, but I think it's fun to talk about on the podcast, that from taking creatine, it looked like I was in stage 3 kidney disease. Okay. Yeah. So my first test, I don't know if I talked to you about this, my first blood work, my doctor was like, well, this is kind of concerning. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean it's concerning? And she's like, you have really high creatine and it's making your EFGR numbers low, which means it looks like you have kidney disease. And so she was like, let's check back. And then recently, like, we're going to see what that looks like, this next blood work, which I took last week. And it was the same, right? And I was telling her I take creatine, I'm more muscular, and when people eat more protein. So that can skew your kidney results and make it look like
that's where context matters.
And that's where the myth comes from, that creatine damages your kidneys.
Right.
No, it just makes it look like from your blood work that your kidneys are damaged, but they're not.
And if you go to a doctor that doesn't know, that's the thing, is a lot of doctors don't fucking know this. And so you almost need to go to
right away. You don't need to do that. So my doctor was like, I'm really not concerned, but let's do a urine sample just to see if there's any protein in your urine. So if there is, then, that'll give us the answer that you need to go to see a nephrologist.
Right.
So she tested my urine and everything's fine. There's no protein. She's like, your kidneys are functioning great. So it just goes to show you need a doctor that knows what the fuck is going on. She understands that if you take creatine, she's like, you just need to make sure that you're super hydrated. And that's very true. I wasn't hydrated when I took the fucking blood work.
When you take creatine.
Yeah. And being strong as fuck, having muscle, taking creatine and eating a lot of protein will make your blood work look a little wonky in the kidney department. Also, I am not a doctor, so don't quote me on all this. Just know that.
But you know who is a doctor?
Do your research.
Dr. Alan Bacon. And actually, I was wanting to talk to him about creatine on the last episode we did with him.
Oh, yeah.
I think when he comes back on, maybe we can talk to him about creatine.
Yeah.
Because
for sure. And Alan Aragon, too.
Yeah. That would be a great one for both of those guys, the Alan and Alan episode.
Yeah.
But last time I got blood work a couple of years ago, my creatine levels were high, too.
Yeah.
And for that same reason.
Yeah.
So if your doctor tries to say something about it and you are like the person that best describing, you're active, you're working out, taking creatine, get either a second opinion, or you might need, sometimes you might need to go to a sports medicine doctor or something like that.
Yeah. Just make sure you go to someone that knows what they're talking about. Ask your questions, do your research. Yeah. And thank God I'm well versed in this stuff. So I knew what to ask and things like that. So that helped.
And you're right. That is where that myth comes from of creatine being bad for your kidneys.
Yeah. Because it can make you look like you're literally in kidney disease.
Right. In human control studies and human research, there's no documented evidence that creatine causes kidney issues.
No, none.
If you have pre-existing kidney issues, again, we're not doctors, but this is a disclaimer for the use of creatine. If you have pre-existing conditions with kidneys, pre-existing kidney issues, consult your doctor. And you should always consult your doctor before you start taking a supplement anyway. So
right.
By the way, guys, please do that. Don't just stop taking all these random bullshit supplements online. Consult your doctor.
Yeah, this is my experience and my experience only. I just wanted to fill you guys in on my experience. Because I didn't want to tell the whole entire world on Instagram and get a million fucking DMs about it. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, if I started talking about this, I would lose my fucking mind. I'd have to turn off my phone for a week.
Yeah. For sure, especially because we know that there's some coaches out there that would just love to get something like that and be like, oh my God, like what a hypocrite, and like because we do anything right, and these coaches will jump all over people. So
yeah, I'm still taking my creatine. I'm not stopping.
Yeah, for sure. So is there anything else we want to add on to that for like maintenance? Anything about maintenance there? I mean, we've talked about we've had entire episodes dedicated to maintenance with Paul Salter. So I don't think we need to talk about maintenance.
I think listen to our Paul Salter episode, is the full episode about maintenance.
It's like episode 58, maintenance is fucking progress, I think it's called. And we recently posted that one actually. So yeah. Okay, so go back to running and hiking and trail running and all that good stuff. You want to talk about our trip coming up?
Yeah, we are going to be hiking in Portland, Oregon, and fucking exactly 15 days we'll be there.
We will be there, and then the hike is taking place the 22nd, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. 8 a.m. Cape Lookout.
Cape Lookout.
Thank God. I've been getting fucked up with this name a million times. It's Cape Lookout.
What are you guys doing with your naming conventions out there for parks? There's Cape Lookout and Cape Falcon. We're like, which one are we doing?
They're too close, yeah.
So yeah, we're doing Cape Lookout, June 22nd. It's free to come hike with us, and we're looking forward to this trip.
Yeah,
it's going to be incredible because exploring the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Chase some waterfalls. We're going to do some fun hikes on our own. We're excited to make some awesome fucking content too.
I know. We're going to make a lot of how to travel or how to eat on vacation.
How to eat while traveling, how to eat on vacation. I'm sure. And you're in your deficit up until that point. So that'll also
I'll be in maintenance. So I can show what maintenance looks like on a vacation. It's not going to be a free for all, but I'm still going to enjoy myself, obviously.
And I can talk about mindful eating when we're doing all that stuff too. Like
it's a good combination, mindful eating and maintenance. I mean, it's kind of correlated, right?
It is correlated. Mindful eating, like there's so many different ways to tackle mindful eating.
Yeah.
Like there's so many approaches to mindful eating. I can only talk about like our approach, but I know how some other people do it too. Yeah. But mindful eating is key to long-term maintenance. Especially if you're not somebody that wants to track forever, right? And I don't think anybody wants to track forever. And I've been talking about like how some of my clients aren't tracking, and I talk about it on social media, but I just want to say like I'm not against tracking. Hopefully nobody thinks I'm against tracking, anti-tracking. I love tracking. It's a very useful tool. But for most people, it's not something we should be doing long term, like for the rest of your life. It's a tool that you can use when you need it. Like Beth, when you're going into an intentional fat loss phase. If I ever went into an intentional fat loss phase or had very specific goals, I would probably track. I just don't need to. So that's where mindful eating really comes into play. So
and when we are in Portland, I will not be tracking, and I won't be bringing my fucking scale with me. So
Right. So like that's those questions that you need to be asking yourself, right? For anybody listening, when you're in your fat loss phase, what are you going to do in those situations? Right? You can't take a food scale with you forever. You can't track your, like when you go to restaurants, good luck tracking that. Right? So you can get guidelines and estimates there, but that's just where you just need to learn how to eat. But not only do you need to learn how to eat, you need to learn how to manage your fucking feelings, your emotions, your stressors. Because those are the biggest contributing factors to our overeating. They really are. We just graduated one of our groups of mindful eating last night, and we had like I think 15 people in this group, and 5 people or so on the last call last night, and we were going around for final thoughts and things they've learned. And the common theme, and I put this in quotes, it's not about the food. Very rarely is weight loss and fat loss almost about the food. It's our behaviors and our interactions with the food. It's how we use food.
Exactly. I've been talking about this a lot with our challenge people too. It's a topic right now. We're talking about behaviors. Yes.
It's not the fucking donuts and cookies and Twizzlers.
It's how we cope.
Right. If you're eating a box of fucking cookies because Bob pissed you off, your husband upset you, your significant other's an asshole, food's not the problem there.
No,
it's not about the food in that situation. It's about how you're managing to that situation. Yeah, it's your trigger, right?
We need new coping mechanisms.
Yeah, and it's not to say, and I want to throw this out there too. I think it's very, very unrealistic, next to impossible, to say I am never going to emotionally eat.
Oh yeah,
and to stress eat again. You are going to emotionally eat. You are going to eat your fucking feelings. What we need to do.
It's normal, actually.
Yes, we have a
totem
pole. Right now, stress eating, emotional eating is at the top of the totem pole. We want to move that fucking thing all the way down here to the bottom of the priority list. with better coping mechanisms at the top, better behaviors at the top. Then when we emotionally eat and stress eat, because that's the thing, food does provide comfort. And there is a place and a time for that. It's how we go about doing it. Yeah. If we deny emotional eating and think that we're a bad person for doing it, and then we fucking do it anyway because we're fucking humans and that's what's going to happen. You're not fucking smarter than your brain, people. Then that's when the guilt and shame comes in. You're a bad person because you emotionally ate. Or, and that's the cycle, right? Or it's like, I'm stressed right now. The only coping skill I have access to, or the only one that's going to work, I tried my breathing, I tried everything else, it's not working. I'm going to eat right now. That's okay. It's serving its fucking purpose right now. When I'm done with that, I'm going to move the fuck on with it. Not going to second guess it. Not going to say, oh my God, I fucked up. I stress ate. What do I do? How many calories do I need to burn? Do I need to go on a walk? No.
Right.
It just happened. It just is. It just exists. It's a thing. There's no fucking value to it. No morality associated with it. It happened. Move the fuck on with it. That is the biggest component of emotional eating and stress eating. Cannot emphasize this enough. How you respond to it and the relationship you have with it is what matters. You are going to emotionally eat and it's okay. Yeah. And I can say this because we teach our clients this and they're very, very fucking successful doing it. In psychology, this is evidence-based information being talked about here. And it's rooted in DBT and CBT with therapy. Obviously I'm not either of those things, but on my team we do have them. So yeah, I could talk about that shit all day because behaviors like so. What are you guys talking about with your challenge and with the behaviors, right? Because we see that all the time when our challenges start too.
Well, we have our private Telegram chat, and of course the topic of cortisol came up. And so Coach Amy gets in there with her little coach bubble because there are little videos we can send. And she's like, it's not the cortisol, you guys. It's our behaviors. Like, it's our habits. And so we just got into this habit behavior. And I asked a question the other day of like, we've had some people that are reoccurring challengers. And I'm like, so if you are coming here for maybe the fourth time, what has kept you from not being consistent? Like, why did you stop doing all the basics that we were teaching you? And it really all came down to stress, emotional eating. A lot of them just don't know how to handle emotions.
Totally.
It's like, okay, well, let's work on helping you guys with these behaviors and coping mechanism skills that you need to build rather than just going to food every time.
Yes, thank you, because everybody wants to just start running, but it's like, let's slow the fuck down. And I think we run of course we run our challenges very similarly because we coach in such a similar way.
Yeah.
Every time we do a challenge, the first week, people are like, I'm trying to lose weight. You want me to eat how many calories? It's like, well, did you stick with the eating 1,200 calories, right? Or all these other behaviors, right? Why are we focusing on like the emotional eating and habits, right? Because that's what long-term weight loss is all about.
Right. I'm like, we need to build your foundation, like the foundation of a house. You don't build a house without the foundation. So you need the fucking foundation so your house doesn't crumble. I'm eating my own hair.
Well, you've got a hell of a fucking head of hair there, so.
In front of me, and it was like blowing my head up, and I was talking, and I inhaled a fucking big hair. I was like,
oh, hairball. But yeah, and that's the thing too. Like these 30-day challenges, you're not going to have a huge transformation in our 30-day challenges, but you are going to start working on the foundation. It could be that kick in the ass you need. It could be right, and it could be just be a different way of doing things and seeing things that you needed too. It's like if you can't give yourself 30 days of slowing down and being intentional with something, what the fuck? It just goes back into wanting to sprint and wanting everything to be as quickly as possible. We need to delay that instant gratification.
Yes,
because then the gratification you get is going to be so much sweeter. When you got the blood, sweat, and tears going into it. The elbow grease.
Yep. There's something different about working really hard to get what you need or want.
For sure. And it's not even about like working hard. It's just working smarter, honestly. I honestly don't think the way that we coach, it's doing things harder. It's doing things smarter, right? Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I think so. But also, I think a lot of the times I forget what it's like to be new.
Okay.
And a lot of newbies, these are learned things that we know. Like like, I don't think people understand when you start something, you're building a habit and that's not going to be overnight. Like a lot of the things that I do now that are so easy for me weren't so easy for me, let's say 9 years ago. It's like, oh my God, this is so fucking hard. I don't know how I can get this done or get this much protein or get this much fiber. But now it's literally, I don't really have to think about it as much.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more you do it, the more it becomes ingrained. And like the habits, just the more you do them, the more ingrained they're going to be. The less you do them, the less likely you are to fucking fall off those habits.
Right. And it's like, I don't know about you, but when I'm stressed and stuff, I don't turn to alcohol anymore. I don't turn to food. When people ask me like, what do you do when you're stressed? I'm like, I don't really know. I think I just like walk or
you go on a rage walk.
Go on my rage walk, like listen to music. And it's nothing that I really think in the moment that I'm doing because of a stress. It's like, I just do it. It's just fucking, it's instinctual for me. Pissed off, go on a walk. I don't think, oh, I'm so stressed right now. What should I do with myself? I just go do it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to the fucking pantry.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And if you don't have the walk available to you, what would you do personally to manage some of the stress, right? Talk about some coping skills for managing stress, and this is what, like, I think it's important for people to understand is you need to have a toolbox or a tool belt of coping skills, because you're not always going to have access to all of your coping skills, such as walking. So we need to have other coping skills to fall back on. So do you have any?
I have everything I need.
But you got your treadmill at home.
I have my treadmill. And this is where everyone's going to have their own coping mechanism skills. Like what works for me may not work for somebody else. So you have to like get curious with yourself, learn about yourself, what's going to fucking work for you. Maybe I might text Matt and fucking start telling him, oh, this and that, bitching at him or something. Or, I either talk to someone, I walk, or I put my fucking music on or a podcast.
So it's nice. You've got all these coping skills and they're so ingrained that you're like, oh yeah, actually I do that after thinking, after talking about it. You're like,
it's not like I think about it. I just do it.
It's a natural response at that point.
Correct.
That's what it's all about. Is like, that's why we do things in such a slow, controlled way and very intentionally, because you can't just start using a coping skill when you need it. That's a horrible fucking time to use it. You need to be practicing these coping skills when you don't need to cope. Right.
Yeah.
So like with me and my breath work, I'm so intentional with my breath work every fucking day, even if I'm not stressed, because when I'm elevated and heated in the moment, I'm not going to be able to sit there and think about, okay, now I need to start. What was that skill? How do I do it? Right.
Exactly. You just do it. You just
know how.
It's just your behaviors that you're doing now. Like all my stress relievers are just things I do.
Yes. Yep. It's part of you as a person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's what you will find too. You have to find your own coping mechanism skill. We're not going to all have the same one. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's starting a fire in your backyard in a fucking fire pit. I don't know. Maybe it's
like we can give you ideas and some stuff that works for us. You can try them. They might not work for you. That's when you need to get what you said earlier, Beth. You need to get curious.
Like drinking tea and reading a book would not work for me. That would stress me the fuck out even more. I need to be active. I need to move. So I don't.
My brain is what needs the.
Thank you. Yeah. Me and Matt have kind of a similar brain. I need to do something else. Like
that's why we thrive so well with movement. Like that's why we love running and going on our daily walks, and because it's our squirrel brains work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our anxious squirrel brains, I should say. And I will say it's no accident that as my running has picked up, my mental health has improved. Imagine that. My stress management has improved. My anxiety has improved. No fucking duh,
Yeah.
So it's like there's a direct correlation most of the time with exercise in general. It doesn't matter, not just running. It could be any form of cardio, and releasing those endorphins. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And because I will, like, and I've talked about this too, when I was really struggling last year and earlier this year, that was when my physical activity had really greatly reduced. I was essentially doing the bare minimum. And for me, the bare minimum was going on a walk. And that was one of the hardest things for me to ever do at that time. And I was hitting the gym like once or twice a week and half-assing the gym. No, that wasn't getting the job done for me. And so it was me having to be very intentional with doing those things to dig myself out of that hole in a way too.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah. Good topics here.
Good topics. Very good topics. Our Patreon workouts came out last week, just the other day. I know you did a hiking challenge for everybody for the month of June, so that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
I'm
like hike somewhere at least one time if you can't get out more than that. Just we want you to get outside and explore. This is our hiking month because we're going to Oregon. Last year we went to Utah, so
yeah.
This is a pretty big trip.
Utah this time last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it just popped up on my time hop.
It was well, it's Johnny's last week of school, so it would have been. I think it was next week.
Next week, okay. Got it.
Yep.
Oh, that's what it was. I saw a GPS direction, so I was planning our trips ahead of time on my phone. Apparently, this time last year. So
yeah. I'm pumped.
I need to book a car still for us. So I'll do.
Oh, did you get a plane ticket?
I did get a plane ticket. I think I'm coming in like within a half hour of you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I leave later in the day than you, like only by like 3 hours. So I'll chill at the airport. And I think I get home earlier than you too, though. I have a direct flight home, which is nice. So
we have direct flights both ways.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe you do get home earlier, but I don't know.
We're going to Boston, so.
Boston. Okay.
Boston.
How long of a drive is that for you to get home?
3 hours.
Okay. No direct flights to Portland, Maine on that day.
So we're going to have to leave on Wednesday, and we're staying in Boston the day before.
Got it. Long traveled, a couple of days.
I know. It always is when you leave from here.
Yeah, it's not convenient.
Fucking Maine.
Love Maine. I don't live there, so it's a lot easier for me to say that, but I love Maine.
I love
Everybody
it,
loves
but
Maine.
It's not easy to get to.
It's not convenient, right?
It's not convenient.
Everything's isolated there.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about our Patreon, I guess, for a couple more minutes. Like we said last week when we were talking with Chef Rich, we suck at promoting our shit. So
I know.
Let's just talk about our Patreon here for a few minutes, because really, our Patreon is our way of giving back to people that listen, that just need some help, and for us to build our community. And that's really, without the Patreon, we wouldn't be able to do shit like go on the meet and greet that we're doing.
Yeah.
Like that's just, we're putting up the money that we get from this podcast back into it by doing that type of stuff. So even if you don't need help with workouts, but like we said earlier, you could look at our workouts and look at a different way of doing things and learn something. We got the monthly challenges and we've got the recipes there too. Or you can just show your support for the show if you'd like to. It's $5 a month just to sign up for as well. We have a free membership option on there, but I don't think we could release free content on there but I think I'm not sure Patreon created that free option. I don't know what it's for, if I'm being honest.
I don't know.
But anyway.
Also, let's shout out Cured.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cured Nutrition.
Yeah.
We had Joseph on here a few episodes ago. What a fucking powerful podcast, honestly. Joseph Sheehy.
He's got such a great story.
Yeah. And Cured, honestly, I take those Cured gummies every single day in the late afternoon. That is actually one of my stress relievers. I don't know how I could forget that, especially after a busy day.
Because you didn't even know them when you were talking about them. So
yeah, I mean, it's one of those gummies late in the afternoon or before bed to help relax me after a busy day on my meetings and podcasting and all that stuff. So Cured gummies, it's, if you're a person that maybe doesn't want to use alcohol as a means to relax at the end of the day.
It's such a healthier way.
It is a healthier
alternative.
Yeah, I mean, and it just it relaxes you in a safe way.
And it's CBD, it's CBD, and it's a
CBD.
microdose of THC.
You can drive.
It's all proven benefits here.
Exactly. So is it CTC? Code CTC?
Our code is CTC. Yeah, curednutrition.com/CTC.
Yeah.
And you can use the coupon code CTC. And I agree with you, Beth. I don't take them every day anymore. I take them more as needed. But when I do take them as needed, they're very fucking effective.
Yeah.
I know I made a story about this a couple of weeks ago, but it was right before we did our episode with Alan Bacon. You and me were both very anxious that day because remember we had gotten called out by somebody on the internet about something. And
right. Yeah. That was intense.
About it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I took my gummy like 30 minutes before, and it's like that within 15, 20 minutes, it already had that calming.
It changed our whole entire attitude before the podcast.
It really did. Because before we were like, we don't want to do this. Like, we need to go. Like, this is like, we're not in a good place. But then
it was intense.
Like that, it helped. So yeah, curenutrition.com/CTC, coupon code CTC for 20% off. And they are also, guys, I'm excited to say this. They're sponsoring our meet and greet in Oregon.
Yeah.
So anybody that is attending the meet and greet, they will be getting some free samples of the Serenity gummies and the CBD nightcaps, which are for helping you get a better quality night's sleep. So very fucking exciting.
Yes.
So thanks, Cured, for sponsoring the podcast. we'd be using their products. We were using their products even if they weren't sponsoring the podcast.
Exactly. Exactly. So. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. We're looking forward to seeing everybody here in a few weeks. Last time we checked, we had like 17 people signed up for the hike.
We should probably put another RSVP out.
We'll put another RSVP up on our socials, on our story. And of course, if you want to RSVP it, there will also be a link in the show notes. It's been in the show notes for the past couple of weeks as well. Come hang out with us.
We're hiking the coast of Oregon at Cape Lookout, 8 a.m. on June 22nd, Saturday.
An hour and a half drive from Portland.
Yes.
To the coast from there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's free. I want to reiterate that it's fucking free.
We don't charge anybody to hike with us like some people.
Yes, I can't believe this trend of influencers and fitness coaches.
It's embarrassing. Like, how could you do that? That's embarrassing. I feel embarrassed for you.
I'm embarrassed for them too. That's
way to show people where your fucking
head's at. Fuck that. Come hike with us, guys. It's all about community for us. We have people that have met on our hikes and they're friends now in person to this day. Which is really fucking cool. Especially the one we did in Hocking Hills because there were so many people there. I don't think I told you, Beth. Kathy Shepard, who's been
coming
to Oregon. Did I tell you already?
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so.
Yeah,
so
I have a client, one of Christy's clients that's coming.
Awesome. So,
it's going to be
I'll
exciting.
Have to see who else is coming, but yeah, so exciting. And start thinking about too if you're going to come.
Yeah.
Where you want to be like a year from that hike. Yeah. Challenge yourself. Come to that meet and greet ready to talk about that because that's something we talked about with people when we were in Hocking Hills, and I think it's a really fun conversation to have with people.
Yes.
That's the thing. You don't just come and hike and you're in a group with us. We try to take time to chat with everybody and get to know everybody because we fucking care. We want to get to know you. So
exactly.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out. Come hike. Come get outside in vitamin nature.
Yeah, the hike that we did, I want to throw this out there. We always try to choose the hikes that are going to be as accessible as possible. And we believe that this one, it's like a 4.7, I think, mile round trip. So it's like two and a half miles in and the 2.5 miles out. And there's not a lot of elevation gain. It seemed to be the most accessible. And it's one of the more popular state parks. Yep. So you should be good to go. But if you want to look it up ahead of time, Cape Lookout Trail in Oregon.
Near Tillamook.
Tillamook. Yep. All right. That's it, Beth.
Right. Yeah.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Peace out. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.